The pre-Russell era. Basketball's gritty beginnings and the dawn of a revolution. Imagine it's 1946. The world is just emerging from the shadows of World War II. America is booming with post-war optimism, and sports like baseball and boxing dominate the cultural landscape. College basketball captures the imagination of many fans, but professional basketball? It's barely a blip on the national radar. Back then, professional basketball wasn't even called the NBA. Instead, it was the Basketball Association of America, BAA, a scrappy fledgling league with only 11 teams scattered across North America. These were humble beginnings, small arenas, modest crowds, and players who often juggled basketball with day jobs because the paychecks were barely enough to live on. The sport was still raw, unpolished, and struggling to define itself amid a crowded sports market. The style of play was slow and methodical, the pace plodding, defenses tight, and scoring low. Jump shots were a novelty. Many players still relied on set shots or underhanded free throws. The rules were still evolving, and the game lacked the flash and flair we associate with basketball today. Enter Joe Fulks, a pioneer largely forgotten by modern fans, but a true trailblazer of his time. Playing for the Philadelphia Warriors, Fulks brought fearlessness and innovation, popularizing the jump shot at a time when it was revolutionary. He was the league's first real star scorer and led his team to the inaugural BAA championship in 1947, a victory that began to spark genuine interest in professional basketball. Yet the early years were far from stable. Teams folded or relocated. Frequently, finances were shaky, and fan loyalty was still being won. The league's survival was far from guaranteed, but the passion of players, coaches, and fans kept the dream alive. The real turning point came with George Mikan, the towering 6'10" center for the Minneapolis Lakers. In an era when even 7-footers were rare, Mikan was a giant in every sense. He dominated the paint like no other, revolutionizing how centers played and winning multiple championships that turned the Lakers into a dynasty. Wilt and Russell era. Titans clash and the birth of modern basketball. If the pre-Russell era was basketball's childhood, then the Wilt and Russell era was its explosive adolescence, marked by incredible rivalries, larger-than-life personalities, and a battle for supremacy that shaped the NBA's identity forever. The 1950s and 1960s saw the NBA transition from a fledgling league into a serious sports powerhouse, thanks in no small part to two giants of the game, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. These two men defined the era, but in dramatically different ways. Bill Russell was the ultimate team player and defensive genius. His basketball IQ was unmatched, and his leadership was the cornerstone of the Boston Celtics dynasty. Over 13 seasons, Russell led the Celtics to 11 NBA championships, an unprecedented level of success that remains almost mythical today. His game was about defense, rebounding, and inspiring his teammates to play unselfishly and with grit. Russell was vocal, intense, and clutch, often turning games around with his shot blocking and defensive presence. Wilt Chamberlain, by contrast, was a physical marvel and scoring machine. When he burst onto the scene in 1959, his rookie stats were jaw-dropping, averaging nearly 38 points and 27 rebounds per game. Wilt was the NBA's first true athletic freak, breaking records with seemingly superhuman feats, including the legendary 100-point game in 1962, a mark no one has come close to since. While Chamberlain's style was more individualistic and focused on sheer dominance, his impact on the game's evolution was profound. The rivalry between Russell and Chamberlain was about more than basketball. It represented two different philosophies: Russell's team-first, defense-driven style versus Chamberlain's individual offensive explosion. Their clashes in the playoffs were epic and captivated the nation. Off the court, their rivalry mirrored social tensions of the time. Russell was outspoken on civil rights, using his platform to challenge racial injustice. Wilt, more reserved publicly, nonetheless broke racial barriers as one of the dominant African-American athletes of his generation. Their contrasting personalities and social roles made their competition even more compelling. The Celtics, under coach Red Auerbach, perfected a system of defense and teamwork around Russell's skills. Auerbach's Celtics way became the blueprint for building winning teams, emphasizing passing, defense, and mental toughness. Alongside Russell, stars like Bob Cousy, Sam Jones, and Bill Sharman elevated the Celtics into a basketball dynasty that defined the era. This was basketball at its most physical and intense. The pace was slower, the defense tougher, and the scoring lower than today's game. Yet, the passion and drama were unmatched. This era laid the foundation for modern basketball. It introduced the importance of defense and team play as keys to winning championships and showcased how individual dominance could push the sport's limits. More than stats and titles, the Wilt Russell era was about stories and personalities. The drama, the tension, and the raw emotion that made basketball so compelling. Their legacy still sparks debates about who was the greatest, but the truth is they both defined what greatness means. When you watch the NBA today, the fast pace, the strategic defenses, the star-driven narratives, remember that much of it traces back to these two giants and the era they defined. They didn't just play basketball, they made it a global phenomenon. Magic Johnson and the Showtime Lakers. Magic Johnson wasn't just a player. He was the catalyst that transformed the NBA in the 1980s. Drafted first overall by the Los Angeles Lakers in 1979, Magic brought a unique blend of size, skill, and charisma that redefined the point guard position and energized the league. Standing 6'9", with the vision and ball handling of a smaller guard, Magic was a mismatch nightmare. Under coach Pat Riley, the Lakers developed Showtime, a fast-paced, high-flying style of play that dazzled fans and changed how basketball was played. The offense centered around Magic's incredible passing and ability to run the break, combined with scorers like James Worthy and Byron Scott. Magic's rookie year gave fans a glimpse of what was to come. In the 1980 NBA Finals, when starting center was injured, Magic stepped in to play center in Game 6. At only 20 years old, he scored 42 points, grabbed 15 rebounds, and dished out 7 assists to lead the Lakers to the championship. It was a sign of the special talent and fearless competitor he was. Throughout the 1980s, Magic led the Lakers to 5 NBA titles: 1980, 1982, 1985, 1987, and 1988, cementing their status as the decade's dominant team. His rivalry with Larry Bird's Celtics, filled with respect and competitive fire, became the NBA's defining storyline, helping the league grow its fan base globally. Beyond the court, Magic's infectious personality and smile made him one of the most beloved athletes worldwide. His impact extended even further when, in 1991, he publicly announced his HIV diagnosis, a brave and groundbreaking moment that changed public perception and inspired countless people. Magic Johnson's legacy is about more than championships. He brought excitement, style, and a new era of basketball brilliance. The Showtime Lakers remain a symbol of fast-paced teamwork and entertainment, and Magic's name is forever etched among the NBA greats. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Skyhook King, and the ultimate longevity. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's career is the blueprint of longevity and consistent excellence in the NBA. Drafted first overall in 1969 by the Milwaukee Bucks, Kareem, then Lou Alcindor, immediately transformed the franchise, leading them to their first NBA championship in 1971. But his journey didn't stop there. Kareem's signature move, the Skyhook, is one of the most iconic shots in basketball history. A near-unblockable hook shot delivered with his long right arm, it became his weapon of choice for scoring over defenders. With this move and his refined footwork, Kareem became the NBA's all-time leading scorer with 38,387 points, a record that stood for decades. After 6 seasons in Milwaukee, Kareem was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers in 1975, where he continued to dominate. The Lakers' Showtime era, led by Magic Johnson, found Kareem anchoring the offense with his post presence and scoring. Together, they won 5 NBA titles in the 1980s. What made Kareem truly special was his combination of skill, basketball IQ, and durability. The Bad Boys era, Detroit Pistons' grit and grind. The late 1980s and early 1990s saw the rise of the Detroit Pistons, famously dubbed the Bad Boys, who brought a physical, aggressive style that challenged the NBA's stars and reshaped how defense was valued. Led by Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Dennis Rodman, and Bill Laimbeer, these Pistons were as feared for their hard-nosed defense as for their unyielding team chemistry. Coach Chuck Daly crafted a system that emphasized toughness, mental intimidation, and relentless pressure defense. The Jordan Rules strategy was their hallmark, a defensive scheme designed to contain Michael Jordan by forcing him to take tough, contested shots, and wear him down physically. The Pistons' physicality was controversial, often crossing the line into what opponents called dirty basketball, but it was effective. They won back-to-back NBA titles in 1989 and 1990, cementing their place as one of the toughest teams ever. What stands out about the Bad Boys is how they embraced their identity. They weren't the flashiest or most skilled team, but their chemistry and resilience made them champions. They forced the NBA to evolve, proving defense and toughness could beat even the most talented offensive teams. The Jordan era, the greatest of all time's reign. Michael Jordan's impact on the NBA transcends sport. Drafted 3rd overall in 1984. By the Chicago Bulls, Jordan quickly became a global icon through his unmatched scoring ability, clutch performances, and competitive fire. His career defined the modern NBA and transformed basketball into a worldwide phenomenon. Jordan's resume is legendary. 6 NBA championships, 5 MVP awards, 14 All-Star appearances, and a career scoring average of 30.1 points per game, the highest in NBA history. His gravity-defying dunks, iconic flu game, and game-winning shots in the finals created moments etched forever in sports lore. What set Jordan apart was his relentless will to win. His work ethic and desire to dominate fueled the Bulls to three-peats, 1991, 1993, 1996 to 1998, a feat unmatched before or since. Under Coach Phil Jackson and the Triangle Offense, Jordan elevated teammates like Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman into stars. Beyond stats and titles, Jordan's charisma and branding savvy expanded the NBA's global reach. His Air Jordan sneaker line revolutionized sports marketing. Jordan's competitive spirit inspired generations and set the standard for what it means to be a superstar. Tim Duncan and the Spurs' quiet dynasty. Tim Duncan, known as the Big Fundamental, was the steady backbone of the San Antonio Spurs dynasty spanning almost 2 decades. Drafted 1st overall in 1997, Duncan combined fundamental skills, intelligence, and leadership to win 5 NBA championships with the Spurs. Unlike the flashier superstars, Duncan's game was grounded in fundamentals: mid-range shooting, powerful post moves, tenacious defense, and calm decision-making. He was a 2-time MVP and 15-time All-Star, respected for his consistency and unselfishness. Under Coach Greg Popovich, Duncan led a team culture emphasizing teamwork, discipline, and defense. Alongside stars like Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker, the Spurs remained title contenders throughout the 2000s, winning championships in 1999, 2003, 2005, 2007, and 2014. Duncan's quiet leadership and humility distinguished him from other superstars. He never chased headlines, but led by example, earning respect as one of the greatest power forwards and an icon of professionalism. Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. Dominance and drama. The early 2000s Lakers were defined by the explosive duo of Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, a partnership that combined brute force and unmatched skill, but also simmering tension. Shaq, the dominant 7'1" center, used sheer power to overpower opponents, while Kobe's relentless scoring and killer instinct complemented him perfectly. Together, Shaq and Kobe won 3 consecutive NBA titles from 2000 to 2002, forming one of the most unstoppable teams in NBA history. Shaq's dominance in the paint forced opponents to double-team, creating opportunities for Kobe's perimeter scoring. However, their relationship was famously volatile. Ego clashes and disagreements eventually led to Shaq's trade to Miami in 2004, after which Kobe emerged as the undisputed leader of the Lakers. Kobe's work ethic and skill made him a 5-time NBA champion and one of the greatest players ever. Shaq's larger-than-life personality and Kobe's Mamba mentality gave fans unforgettable moments, dominant performances, fierce rivalries, and a dramatic narrative that defined an era of Lakers basketball. The Heat Big Three era. LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. In 2010, the NBA landscape shifted when LeBron James, Dwyane Wade, and Chris Bosh formed the Miami Heat's Big Three, creating one of the most formidable trios ever assembled. Their decision to team up was a turning point for player empowerment and super team formation in the league. LeBron brought his unparalleled combination of size, speed, and versatility. Wade was a crafty, explosive scorer and leader, and Bosch provided stretch shooting and solid defense. Together, they quickly transformed the Heat into a championship contender. The Heat reached 4 straight NBA Finals from 2011 to 2014, winning 2 titles in 2012 and 2013. Under coach Erik Spoelstra, the team's style mixed pace, precision, and high basketball IQ. The Big Three era also sparked debate about team building and competitive balance as more stars sought to join forces to chase rings. Miami's success reshaped the NBA's power dynamics and set the blueprint for future super teams. The New Generation era, NBA's bold new dawn. As the LeBron James era gradually winds down, the NBA has ushered in a vibrant new chapter characterized by a fresh wave of talent that is reshaping the league's identity. This is the era of the new generation. Young, versatile, and supremely skilled athletes like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, and a constellation of stars whose blend of athleticism, skill, and basketball IQ is redefining modern basketball. Giannis Antetokounmpo. From underdog to MVP, at the forefront of this movement stands Giannis Antetokounmpo, often dubbed the Greek Freak. Giannis's journey from the streets of Athens, where he and his family faced immense hardships, to NBA superstardom is a testament to perseverance and raw talent. Drafted 15th overall in 2013 by the Milwaukee Bucks, few predicted the seismic impact he would have on the league. Giannis's unique combination of size, speed, and ball handling skills makes him a matchup nightmare. His ability to play almost every position on the floor with elite defensive and offensive capabilities has transformed the Bucks into a perennial contender. His 2 MVP awards, 2019-2020, and his crowning achievement, leading Milwaukee to their first NBA championship in 50 years in 2021, cement his place as a generational talent. But Giannis's impact transcends statistics. He's changed the culture of the Bucks franchise, drawing fans and inspiring young players globally. His relentless work ethic and humble demeanor have earned him respect beyond basketball. Luka Doncic, the European prodigy, redefining playmaking parallel to Giannis's rise. Luka Doncic represents the next wave of international dominance in the NBA. A Slovenian phenom who dazzled Europe with Real Madrid before joining the Dallas Mavericks in 2018, Luka arrived in the league with a refined skill set and poise beyond his years. His court vision, creativity, and clutch gene have made him one of the NBA's premier playmakers. Luka's ability to control the tempo, create shots for teammates, and score from virtually anywhere on the court has drawn comparisons to legends like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. While still young, Luka's fearless leadership has re-energized the Mavericks franchise and given Dallas hope of returning to championship contention. His rapid ascent underscores the globalization of the NBA and the growing influence of international players. Joel Embiid and the rise of the modern big man. The new era is also marked by a transformation in the role of big men, epitomized by Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers. Standing at 7 feet tall, Embiid blends traditional post dominance with a modern shooting touch and agility that confounds defenders. His charismatic personality and dominant play have made him the face of the 76ers franchise, carrying the team deep into the playoffs multiple times. Embiid's ability to stretch the floor with three-point shooting and his defensive prowess highlight the evolving expectations of big men in today's NBA. Embiid's presence in the league underscores how the game continues to evolve. Big men are no longer confined to the paint, but are key offensive weapons and defensive anchors. As the torch passes from legends like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Stephen Curry to this emerging generation, the NBA stands poised on the brink of a thrilling new age. The storylines are rich. Can Giannis cement a lasting dynasty? Will Luka lead Dallas to glory? Can Joel Embiid finally bring a championship to Philadelphia? The answers will unfold on courts worldwide. But one thing is certain: the NBA's new generation era promises excitement, innovation, and a fresh wave of heroes who will inspire fans for years to come. The NBA's landscape is constantly evolving, shaped by the talents and stories of its greatest players. As we witness the transition from the monumental era of LeBron James to the rise of Giannis Antetokounmpo and the new generation, it's clear that basketball continues to grow in excitement, skill, and global impact. This new chapter is not just about who wins championships, but about how the game is played and how players use their platforms to inspire beyond the court. With young stars redefining what it means to be an NBA player today, fans are in for a thrilling ride, full of innovation, passion, and unforgettable moments. The future is bright, and as these new icons carve their legacies, the NBA's story only gets richer. So whether you're a longtime fan or just discovering the game, there's never been a better time to be part of the basketball journey. Here's to the new era, where legends are born and history awaits.